Hello, this is your favorite little Atlanta millionaire matchmaker coming live in the middle of my day to come on and share something. I talk about this stuff all the time, but I've decided I'm going to do more videos to talk about the stuff that I talk about all the time. And I just don't ever talk about it in videos, or many of you have not heard me speak before, so you don't hear some of the things I say live when I'm speaking or when I'm invited to speak. So I'm coming on live because today I want to share the #1 reason why. Hey Renee, hey girls, hello. Hey Pam, hey girls. Thank you for joining me. So yeah, the #1 reason why men don't get married or don't want to get married. #1 reason. I'm about to share it with you, and I'm going to explain some things about it as well. So as you're coming on, please share, because that's how we get the word out that I'm live, and people will see it on your page and join us as well. So just giving a couple minutes for everyone to join us. If you haven't done it yet, click and look and see our options for online dating. You use flexi rods? Nope, this is just a curling iron. Just a regular old curling iron. Hey, Selena. Hello, girls. Hello. Hey, everybody. Everybody. You know we're in the South. Everybody. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope everybody's having a great afternoon on a Tuesday. It's going up on a Tuesday. I know how to sound Southern, y'all. I've been down here 15 years. I know how to sound Southern, even though I'm not. All right, so today I'm coming on to share something I talk about quite often when women ask me these questions, but I said I'm going to start doing more videos to explain things and explain the research, the history on things, right? So today's video is why men don't want to get married. The #1 reason men don't want to get married. Are we ready? Are we ready to hear this? This is based on research. They actually poll men and find out these answers. The #1 reason that men do not feel that they have to get married or need to get married or no longer feel the pressure to get married, hey Donette, is because, and this, don't shoot the messenger, I'm just the messenger, relaying the data, relaying the facts. Okay, girls, don't get mad at me. The truth is that the reason men confess to saying they don't feel pressured to get married or feel like they may never marry is because they don't have to. That's how much times have changed. Why? Why, Rebecca? Why did men used to feel like they had to get married or wanted to get married or needed to get married or saw marriage as even being a successful man? That's no longer the case. All men don't say, I am not successful if I'm not married. Not so much. Women still hold marriage in very high regard. It's like relationship goals, life goals, right? Women do too much too soon. You said it, honey. The reason that men do not get married is because all the reasons they used to get married, they now get that without getting married. Men are very simple creatures. Yep, they get all the benefits, Pam. They get everything. They used to have to take vows in front of a minister and family, or even in their tribal leaders throughout history, okay? In order to get consistent benefits of a woman, consistent benefits of a good woman, you had to marry her. That's not just sex, although sex is probably #1, okay? Sex is #1. But the great benefits of a woman being, okay, not just sex, freaky sex, Crazy sex. Sex all the time. Sex consistently. Sex whenever they want it. Because then there were also all these governing rules around, you know, with Christians, like a woman's not supposed to refuse her husband. Your body's not yours. There's all kinds of stuff around governing this stuff, girls. And who do you think wrote that stuff? Right? A good man is territorial, wants to take her off the market. Agreed. Agreed. But if he's already having sex with her, Becca, and he's already got an emotional commitment from her, Becca, and he's getting everything he wants, all the home-cooked food, emotional support, spiritual support, sexual loving, freaky loving, financial support in a lot of situations, because you're his ride or die. When he ain't got it, you got it, and vice versa. Men used to have to marry for this type of love, for this type of support, for this type of benefits. Men had to marry a woman. Mike says, you can get married and get less. That's true. That is true nowadays, Mike. And men think about that too. Like getting married isn't guaranteeing me that. So there's a whole lot of confusion and thinking around how all of this works now because there's no more rules. Mike is right. There's no more rules that even govern how wives are, how husbands are, how boyfriends are, how girlfriends are, what you should be doing. People, there's no rules. It's a free-for-all. It's whatever people want it to be. That's why I'm doing the video. Because at the end of the day, first of all, you're going to have to find out if someone even believes in marriage. In 2017, in the 21st century, all people don't desire to be married. James says he's here for it. He wants to be married. James says James is a marriage. He's husband material. He says, I want to be married. I'm a husband. I want to be a husband. I just got to find the right woman. Right, James? You just got to find the right woman. Okay, James here is here for it. James is one of those men, Becca. He's saying, I'm here for it. I want to be married. That's not everyone. That is not everyone. I meet women every day who don't even want to be married. They don't want to get married. And they're being honest. They don't want it. I meet men. They don't know that they'll ever get married. But when you're dating, these are the kind of things that necessarily are not exactly forthcoming. Men know if they are talking to or getting to know a woman who has marriage on her mind or is marriage oriented or marriage gold, that if he tells her he never wants to get married or he's not sure about marriage or he's not sure that he believes in it, he knows she's going to be like, huh? What? Now everything becomes suspect. Stacy says, I'm a widower and I would like to get married again. Okay, these are great men giving you examples of they want to be married. Okay? But there's a whole bunch of men out here who, and this is what I hear most often from the men, girls. I'm going to give you some insight right now. I meet men and they say all the time, well, when I meet the right woman, it's going to take the right woman. And this is even what they're telling themselves. They're telling themselves that. And it's their way of kind of like adjusting and feeling like, you know, I'm a good guy. I'm not out here just running through women. I am looking for a special someone. But here's the thing, ladies. If they have been a serial bachelor for the last decade and they're dating, they're on the market. They're meeting women. They're dating women. And they still haven't met just one woman. Men have always had the option to get benefits of marriage. That hasn't changed. What has changed is now men are more independent thinkers nowadays, not even with just relationships, but with, I'm trying to read it all, honey, not just, but in everything. Men and women are less of following the protocol now of things and just doing what is satisfactory, and people realize they can be happy without being legally locked down to a person. That's true. I do meet a lot of people who are in very long-term relationships and don't feel any pressure to get married. Now, a lot of the time that's older. Mature people have maybe already been married and divorced. It's not typically between your younger 20s and 30s who've never been married. Those tend to fall into two categories. You're either pro-marriage or really not pro-marriage, not really feeling it, not feeling pressed about it. That's the younger single people. But for people who've already been married, they meet someone, there's not like a lot of pressure to get married. It's kind of like, unless your morals and your values, especially coming from the woman, are saying, I want to get married. You believe in marriage. But the point I want to make in this video is that sex has a lot to do with why men are not pressured to get married. Okay, we've got to do a history lesson here for you to really understand and grasp what I'm saying today. Here's how it boils down. At the end of the day, we have to understand that we live in a very sexual culture now. Okay. Has there always been sex for sale? Has prostitution, escorts, prostitution for back in the day, has that always existed? Yes. Has there always been an availability of sex with someone other than your wife? Yes. But did you need money to do that? Yes. And if you wanted the consistent sex and you wanted to not have to pay for that out of pocket at all times, right? And it used to be, it was expected of a man to settle down, get married, have a family, okay? Let me tell you how much things have changed. I've got to really paint this picture for you, okay? Let's go back to the 1920s. Let's just go back 100 years, even 50 years ago, okay? But 100 years ago, and I'll bring you forward just a little bit. 100 years ago, a man wasn't even used to seeing women's ankles. You know how you've seen like movies back Victorian times, 1920s, 1915, and the skirts were down past their ankles, girls, right? And literally, if a woman showed her ankles or a little bit of leg, a man was like, oh, whoa, I saw her ankles. And even the peep shows back during those times, girls, the little risque little shows and clubs that men would go to, and the women are kind of popping their skirts up and they still got like little pantaloons on underneath their skirts, and those were their underwear. Little things that we would consider to be like capris, like covering little things that come all the way down to your calf. And literally you're flipping your little skirts up and they're kicking their legs up, showing a little bit more leg, and those were considered peep shows. That was considered risque, right? Right. Women were covered from head to toe. You had on undergarments underneath, slips, camisoles, bustiers. You had all kinds. That's where, undergarments come from, is back during this time, right? Covered up from head to toe. I want to put some things into perspective. We talk about how much things have changed, but listen, things have changed more drastically than you ever think about if you don't really look at history. So we talk about, well, men aren't gentlemen anymore, or they're not chivalrous, or, men don't court anymore. They don't do these things. That's women's number one complaint. But we have to understand girdles. Thank you, Kim. Girdles. That's where this stuff comes from. Remember, women were cinched in, covered up. I mean, you know the time period I'm talking about, girls, right? And gentlemen too, covered up. So start coming forward, right? And literally, you could go on Instagram right now and see a half-naked woman that even 50 years ago, I'm talking about a thong with her boom boom out, and a sweatsuit on, a swimsuit on with the boom boom out, the thong sweatsuit. You can go on and see women with little pasties on just their boobs, and everything else is showing. You can see panties, and it's showing everything. And literally, you can go onto Instagram or even some of these Facebook pages right now for free. And what you're seeing used to be considered porn. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not judging anyone right now. I'm just talking about how much things have changed. And we're wondering why the things that used to be traditional are not traditional anymore. Because it used to be that women were considered the fairer sex. They were considered that you had to protect them. right? Because they're the weaker sex. Women were to be protected. That's why a man would get up and give a woman his seat. It was etiquette. It was protocol. A woman isn't supposed to be standing as long as a man. A woman isn't supposed to be as athletic as a man. A woman isn't supposed to be as smart as a man. A woman is good for the house, the home, the children in her own right. That was traditional gender roles. And then we fought so hard for equal rights, ladies. Go back 100 years. Right? Natasha says, I have swimsuit pics on my Instagram. And I'm not judging. It's just, this is the times we live in. But if you were to go back 100 years, in 50 years, people from back would come to this time. They would think that these women were prostitutes. That's what they would think. The dresses now that just have pretty much a bra and underwear under it, and it's sheer and see-through. Kenny, this is my point. What you're saying is true, but women wanted to go out and do everything on their own without a man. And you're right. This sort of created this climate. It's equal rights, ladies. We fought so hard for equal rights, and we didn't have equal rights before. However, the way men acted and the way men treated us, and the protocol and traditions and values and standards that they were held to were strictly enforced by culture and society, by very traditional gender roles and a respect for women. There were two types of women 100 years ago: the kind you marry and the kind you pay to go sleep with. That was pretty much it. That's what the categories were for men. Good or bad, right or wrong, the feminist movement has clouded relationship issues and values. Exactly, Mike. That's exactly what it's done. And we have to realize that that's what it's done and deal with it. There's no going back. There's no putting it back in the bag. There's no going backwards with this, okay? But the reality is that now, when you fast forward to 2017 in the 21st century, the reasons that a man would marry 50 years ago and 100 years ago are no longer in place. No, we can't reverse it, Lisa. There's no going back. This is a different time, a different culture. There's no going back, because no matter what, it's up to you as an individual to set the standards for your life, but you're not going to be able to change the world. There's no going back, because the things that you won't do, someone else will do, like sleeping with someone's husband or sleeping, being promiscuous or whatever. That's going to always be going on no matter what you choose to do. Women will never be able to come together to create that set of standards and hold that set of standards together ever again on that level, because men created those standards, not women. Men created those standards. Let's be clear. Men, powerful men, the men who said this is how it needs to be. Women are this. They're not to be in positions of power. They're not to speak out of turn. All the rules that used to govern male and female traditional gender roles. And it's sad that we as Black people push this agenda on our young women more than any other race, that they have to be independent and not need a man for anything unless it's physical pleasure or loneliness. True. But that's not the way all young women are raised, Kenny. Not all. If you're a good woman and you come from, a good family, and you come from understanding the value of a mother and a father, understanding the value of a man, then you don't think like that. But if you come from someone that's indoctrinated you to think that you need to be independent, right? Okay, but Lenine, I don't want you to focus on that. The things you won't do, someone other will. Don't think about that. That's not my point today. Because Lenine, you still have to hold the standards for yourself. Because here's the thing. At the end of the day, a man who loves you and really sees your value, when you hold to your standards and you require marriage, put it this way, I'm going to give you two scenarios. I have had clients, so many clients over the years. Let me tell you something. Female client. Female client will come in. She just can't seem to hold on to a relationship, can't seem to meet anyone, can't seem to settle down. That's right, Lita. He will put a ring on it, baby. Boom. Look at that. Right? People are getting married by the millions every year. People are still getting married. So it's just going to determine, are you one of those people? That's the question. Are you one of those people that is going to get married? That's what you need to ask yourself. Not whether it's possible, but whether you want to be one of those people. Because what you require, he will do. Now, is that every man you meet? No, it's not every man you meet. But that's even more reason for you to stick to your standards. Because it's really going to filter out the guys who aren't ready. It's going to filter out the dudes who are just going to waste your time. This is my advice for the women. For a 21st century, stick to your standards. Believe it or not, in today's time, you stand out more by not giving it up. Things have gotten so loosey-goosey and everybody's having sex. And listen, men tell me constantly, women pressure me for sex. I don't even pressure them for sex. The women pressure for sex. The women are initiating it. The women. The good girls, the abstinent girls, the church girls, the godly girls, the men be telling me, girls, they don't have no reason to lie to me. They tell me how it is out here. And women, it's not the men who are even, don't be acting like all men are dogs. When you went and presented yourself as a bone, as a piece of meat, and then you want to turn around and call him the dog. No. There's this one, I'm going to give you two examples, okay? So this one gentleman, this is a true story. He said he actually had started dating one of my friends, and she was, not jumping into bed with him, was taking her time getting to know him. And literally, he came, they were long distance. He came into town to visit her. I think my camera is doing something crazy. There we go. He came into town to visit her, girls and guys. And he was thinking like they were going to have sex because, that's pretty much what he was used to. Like, yeah, they'd only been talking maybe 2 weeks or something, but he just thought they would have sex. And when he came to her house or whatever, and she wasn't like going that direction, they had a real candid conversation about it. And he admitted to her that he was kind of shocked because he was so used to having sex the first date, the first week, at least the first 2 weeks that he meets someone. And it's not even that he would be initiating it. It's just that now he's been conditioned for it because that's how it's happening all the time. That women, he doesn't even have to initiate it. He doesn't have to be aggressive. The women do it. He even gave an example of a date he went on where he gone out with her once. He goes out with her the second time. She invites him over. He says he's in the front of the house. She goes back to the back of the house and comes back to the front. And she's like in lingerie. And he's like, what? And here's the sad part. Ladies, come on now. At the end of the day, is he going to have sex with her? Yes. Unless he's absolutely like, I've been practicing abstinence, right? Or practicing celibacy. And he's at a place in his life where he is intentionally practicing celibacy. But a normal everyday guy, a woman come walking from the back of the house in some lingerie, and of course he's attracted to her. He wouldn't have gone out with her on the first or second date if he wasn't attracted to her, right? She looking good, and she comes out of the back, and he's not turning that down. Whether he intentionally, wasn't even thinking like that or not, here she is offering it to him. So ladies, you have to understand that nowadays in the 21st century, you actually stand out more by not doing it. My friend that's the same guy, by my friend waiting, it intrigued him. He was like, We're waiting? Oh, okay. That's interesting. You're different. You're weird. Wow, maybe I need to really get to know you. I haven't met anybody like you in a really long time. By simply just not having sex, he was impressed. And her actually sticking to it. Because the other thing is that a ton of women are saying, oh, I'm abstinent, I'm waiting. And turn around on the first date and give it up to some dude that they're crazy about. Or on the second date, or in the first week, or in the second 2 weeks. It doesn't matter. You give it up so quick that men now don't even believe you when you say you're abstinent. Women who are not abstinent, stop saying you're abstinent. You're ruining it for everybody. Because now men don't even trust it. And they'll even test you. They'll test you because they don't believe you. Because they've met so many women who say that and jump into bed with them. Okay, so back to my point. Standards. Because men only do what you require of them. They're simple. Men are simple. Right, throw their credibility right out the window, Lita. But men are simple creatures. So at the end of the day, women saying that they are celibate and then, as you said, turn around and give it up on the first date or sometime within the first week happen very often. You're absolutely right. It is a turnoff. But not because they had sex so quickly, just it's a turnoff because we now know they are full of crap and we can't trust their word. Exactly. It's not even, if they had never said they were abstinent, stop trying to impress people by trying to act like you're abstinent. If you're not, or, okay, real talk. Real talk. Most women are not abstinent. They are on a sex hiatus. They're in between dudes they really like. That's what most women out here are doing. I'm just going to be real talk, right? I mean, that's what's going on. Women are like, I'm abstinent. No, you just haven't had sex for 6 months because you broke up with your boyfriend or stopped seeing that dude on the side or stopped messing with dude. And now you like, oh, that wasn't working. It didn't get me where I wanted. It didn't get me what I want. And now you stop having sex and like you're going, oh, I'm being abstinent. But then the moment you meet somebody that you're really super attracted to, you jumping back in the bed with them. And what happened to being abstinent? You're not abstinent if there is not some type of spiritual commitment and determination, and you set limitations and plan for your abstinence. Boundaries in place. No, you can't come to my house, honey. You're not my man and I don't know you. And even when you are my man, I'm still waiting. So no, we can't Netflix and chill. I'm not coming over your house to cook dinner for you because we need to go on real dates, even if it's just for ice cream. We need to be doing things outside of the house because I already know I really like you. I'm really attracted to you and the chemistry's crazy. So if you kiss me right here or you kiss me right there or it could be going down. So to protect my determination and my commitment to God and to myself, I'm not going to go there. You're not coming over my house. That's what truly abstinent people do. They have boundaries and they have standards for it. The rest of y'all on a hiatus. And it's totally fine to tell a man he can't come over. That's right, Lita. Totally fine. Stick to your guns. Stick to your guns. Men love it. They act like they don't love it. And the ones who really hate it because now they can't run the game on you. Because you're sticking to your guns. So now they're going to feel like, dang, I ain't going to stick around here. She ain't doing that. I thought she was one of the fake abstinent people. But she's one of them real abstinent people. I ain't hanging around for this because I am not signing up for that. They're not for you. That's not the one for you. That's not your husband. That's not the one. Because be clear here, just to be clear. That's right, James. You love a challenge. You love it. Men love it. They hate to be they act like they hate to be told no. They act like little kids. They're like, don't tell me no. I want what I want. I want my toy. I want it. But really, they love it. Start telling them no. Right, Leola. So back to what I was saying. So here it is. Women with no standards, you're literally playing Russian roulette out here if you're dating. Because if you're out here and you really want to get married, but you don't hold men to any standards, good luck. Because it's just going to be luck of the draw, honey. I mean, it's like you're going to end up getting your feelings hurt a lot. You're going to get your heart broken. You're going to get involved with people you have no business getting involved with because you catch feelings and it seems like it's going somewhere, but he's not ready and you just don't know that. My honest advice for women to know if a man is really, really ready for marriage, wanting marriage, is to keep the cookies in the cookie jar and get to know him and ask a lot of questions. And if he's crazy enough about you and he believes in marriage and you hold marriage as a requirement to be with you, he'll marry you. If he loves you, he'll marry you. If he believes in marriage, and even some that don't believe in marriage, if he loves you and he values you, he'll marry you. That's what love does. It meets the woman's requirements. We don't realize it, but we've always been in control, ladies. We don't see it that way. It used to be we were just, we would stick together. My camera's doing something crazy. There we go. That's right. He will do whatever it takes to have you. But the caveat with this is he has to be crazy about you. And the problem, girls, is you meet a lot of men who are not crazy about you. You meet a lot of men that are not the one. And so you are thinking like this has gotten so hard, but you just haven't met that man that it's mutual with. You can't compare. Like I say, 9 out of 10 men are not it. 9 out of 10 men are not ready. 9 out of 10 men are not it for you. But let's be clear, as a man and speaking to other men, I don't think that the reason women can't keep a man or get married is because they have sex or have sex too soon. The true reason, let's see what he's saying. Hold on. The true reason is because women no longer take the time to know what a man values in a woman. Every man is different and every man values different things in a woman. So if you are feeling a particular man and you really like him, take the time to actually learn what a woman he does value and ask yourself if you can believe it and this man will love you until the end of time. But people don't really take the time. I'm trying to find where it was. But people don't really take the time to get to know one another anymore. They just want the quick packaged up love, and that hardly ever works. You have to first know what a person deems as valuable before you could know if you are valuable to them. I agree. I absolutely agree. People move way too fast. You don't get to know people that fast. It takes time. It really does. And you have to be patient enough to take the time to study someone, get to know them, learn them. So, I want to give you one more example because at the end of the day, this is so crucial. Ladies, I meet women all the time. And especially I've had several clients over the years that have come to me and they're heartbroken because the man they dated for 2 years, who never proposed and never married them, has turned around, and in 6 months from the time that they've broken up, he's met someone else and is now engaged and is getting married to someone else. And you may have spent 2 years, 5 years, whatever with that man. But he meets someone else by the time you guys break up and is now getting married, and he marries another woman and you're heartbroken. I've had several clients like this over the years. At the end of the day, ladies, you have to understand that if you desire to be married, you've got to make marriage a standard. There's just certain things you should not be doing before you get married. And that's part of the problem. Back to my point of this whole video. The number one reason that men cite for not getting married is because they don't have to. I don't have to marry you to have sex with you. I don't have to marry you just because I love you. You're not holding him accountable to that. You're not making that a requirement. I can love you and be your boyfriend. We can even live together. We can do everything together and I never have to marry you. So what you're really saying is you don't value marriage. That's what you're telling him. Because those are all things, if you believe in marriage, and marriage is a tradition. It's a tradition. And if you believe in marriage, there are traditional things that go along with marriage. Like sharing bills, like living together, like having sex, right? Like taking care of him and him taking care of you. That's supposed to be reserved for marriage. So if you say you believe in marriage, there's things that you just simply should not be doing when you are dating and getting to know someone, or even as a girlfriend. There's just things you should not be doing. Because what is the incentive to even get married? Men are not out here like women. Men are not out here like, I want to get married. Oh, I can't wait. The wedding's going to be like this. And there's going to be this many bridesmaids. And I want this color flowers. And this is how, They ain't thinking like, they do not romanticize it. Men are not, there's no fairy tale in it for men. Men think about the responsibility. They think about whether they're financially ready to take on a wife and potential children. They think about all the expense. They think about the work, the responsibility. They think about the mature side of it. It's not a fairy tale to men. Women believe in the fairy tale. Jamel says, I want 4 groomsmen. He already got his friends picked out. But Jamel, guaranteed you are not living like some fairy tale about marriage where you're just going to jump up and marry the first woman you meet because you're trying to make her fit into this scenario that you have in your head of how the wedding and the marriage. Right, James, you count up the cost. You count up the cost. Men count up the cost. They are making sure they make a real, great, wise decision because it's that important. Right. That's right, Lisa. My boyfriend says that all the time. He wants to be financially set for a wife and he's consistently trying to work on it. Exactly. That's how men think. So the number one reason that men say, they cite this. This is the feedback, the research. The number one reason men give for not getting married is because they don't have to. And, I was giving you the example. This is a real example. Woman's been with the man 2-3 years. They break up. 6 months later, he's engaged to someone else, marries her in a year, and she's heartbroken. Girl number one's heartbroken. The truth is, there may not be that much difference between how he felt about girl number one or girl number two that he actually marries. The truth is girl number two just held him accountable to it. Girl number two made it clear. I'm not going to just be dating you. I'm not going to be with you, hanging out, being your girlfriend for the next 3 years. I believe in marriage. So if you don't believe in marriage, then that's not going to work for me. And if he loves her and likes her enough, he's stepping up to that standard. All she did was hold him accountable to standards and boundaries, which is one of the number one downfalls that I see with really, really good women and nice women. You're too nice. You're too bending. You're too understanding. Right? Which is why I suggest the book, Why Men Marry Bees. That book that I posted. It's not about being a bitch. It is about being a woman with standards. Standards. That's what it's about. Sticking to your guns. Being firm. Right, Natasha says, hey, I don't have 3 years to give you. Exactly. The first conversation I had with my husband, the very first conversation we had, I said, listen, I'm at a point in my life, I have enough friends, I've dated enough, and I am looking that God's bringing my husband. So if you're not in that place where you're looking to really want to settle down with someone, don't be wasting my time. I don't want us to waste each other's time because I'm not looking to just date. I told him that in the first conversation. Wasn't ashamed, afraid. I wasn't telling him he was the one. I was just making my intentions clear that that's where I'm at in life. I'm equipped. I'm prepared. I'm ready. Right? And he's like, good, because I hate dating. That was his response. Great, because I hate dating. And we were married within 16 months. Took a year to date and court. And we were married in 16 months. So at the end of the day, it's your standards. Men are already telling you in the research, I don't get married because you don't make me. And if he loves you, he will, because you hold him accountable to it. So that's my video for the day, girls. I'm going back to work. I love you. And the guys, thank the guys for coming on as well. We got guys, my video over there on YouTube about unreasonable and unrealistic expectations for women is over there going viral. I put it up on YouTube finally. It had like 20,000 views here on Facebook, but now it's over there on YouTube going crazy. Right, now let's see if we would work. Exactly. Thank you, Jamel, for your comments. Thank you, all the gentlemen, for your feedback and your comments. We appreciate you as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The women love the feedback and input from men. That helps them so much. So we appreciate that from you guys. All right, girls, I'm going back to work. I will talk to you soon. Have a great day. I'll see the Gigi's tonight, 7 p.m. inside Gigi Girl Talk, inside the Godly Girls group. I'll see you in there. We're talking about dating tonight. What's your YouTube? My YouTube is Rebecca Lynn Matchmaker. Or Rebecca Lynn Pope Matchmaker. Something like that. Rebecca Lynn Pope. Just put in Rebecca Lynn Pope. You'll find me. But I think it's Rebecca Lynn Pope Matchmaker. Hey, Tier. Hey, Natasha. Hey, Tina. Bye, honey. Okay. So talk to you girls soon. I'll see you tonight at 7 p.m. inside the Godly Girls group for our next discussion. Talk to you soon.